evening and welcome to the Krellant Evening News. I'm your host, Cat Reporter, temporarily sitting in for this evening's broadcast. I think you'll find that these studio lights really bring out the natural luster of my fur. We now turn to Frank Feltman, who brings us this special report on climate change.
I'm Frank Feltman, just outside Ottawa, talking to Canadians about what matters to them. Today, climate change. As you know, a new round of discussions is starting in Durban, South Africa. We'll be discussing exactly what is important about these new discussions, and more discussions about the discussion. Here we are with Matthew Paterson, a farmer just outside of Ottawa.
So, I'm not really a farmer, just a bit of a part-timer. I actually teach in a university.
You're not a farmer. Dave, how are we supposed to be interviewing farmers about climate change when we're not interviewing farmers? So, as a university professor, you say?
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions on climate change then?
Yes. Well, I've been researching it for 22 years now. I did a PhD on it in the 1990s about politics of climate change.
So the next round of international climate change talks is beginning in Durban, South Africa. What exactly are they going to be accomplishing?
Well, they're trying to negotiate a treaty that's going to come into force after, because Kyoto, sort of the main obligations in Kyoto stop at the end of 2012.
Right.
So they want to have a treaty in force. Now, they're already too late for that, because they were supposed to be doing it 2 years ago in Copenhagen.
I thought we had a made in Canada solution out of Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen, lots of the countries, all the big rich countries, and quite a lot of the rapidly growing countries like China and India, all made pledges on the run-up to Copenhagen. And they all agreed at Copenhagen that by the end of the next January, so a month later, they would all fix their targets. Canada was the only country in the entire world that in January it announced a target that was less ambitious than the target that it had announced before Copenhagen. It's totally consistent with the signal that the Canadian government has been sending about climate change for...
Which is?
Which is that they'd really rather the issue went away and they don't want to do anything.
Can I pet the chicken?
Sure, if she might peck you back.
Hello. Seems like we might be related.
Could be, you got a big nose.
My mother loves me regardless.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
Thank you to Matthew Paterson, a farmer and climate change expert here in Ottawa. Not so bad, Dave. You did okay.
Thank you, Frank, for that riveting report. To ensure fair and balanced coverage, I have reached another climate expert to bring us an unbiased and scientific view on the matter. Good evening, cat scientist. Thank you for having me. And might I add, your fur looks marvelous under those lights. That is an astute observation. Well, I am a scientist. Yes, you are, which is exactly why you're here with us today. Lately, liberal media pundits and tree-hugging fearmongers have been frightening our children with talk of environmental Armageddon, all the while placing the blame squarely on the patriotic men, women, and felines whose only fault is to have dedicated themselves to the capitalist dream with the hard work and humility required to keep the lifeblood of our great state pumping. In your esteemed, enlightened, and thoroughly scientific view, is climate change the great terror it is so often made out to be? Nope, not at all. Well, that settles that. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I am, of course, Cat Reporter, filling in for Frank Feltman, who is no doubt busy chasing down leads like the superlative journalist he is. Good night.
Here, chickie chickies! Here, chickies! Come on, come to Frank. Here, chickies!